start a prediction. Start a prediction. Sure, we'll call it a semifinals, even though it's not really. It's a best of 3, not a best of 5. It's Cham, not Cure. It's a Zerg, not a Terran. Boom. Place your bets. Get your predictions in for who is going to take this entire series. Is it going to be this player in the top left, representing Team GP, the Korean team, living in Korea, but from the land of Mexico? It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lightshade ALE, we have the Canadian Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is TriGGeR. Hello, Zergling Claws attack. Is ZvP bullying people? Always, mate, always. Oh, God. Yo, thank you, Gustavo. For those wondering, Games Kingdom in the chat is Gustavo. He's the Portuguese caster today. What are you doing in the chat, by the way? Get back to casting. But thank you. I appreciate it. So we are diving into this series. So far, hatch gas pool opening, nothing crazy from Cham, nothing crazy from TriGGeR. I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out. So my prediction is that TriGGeR is going to go for Sky Toss. I feel like that's something that he's really comfortable with, like turtling up, that turtle toss style. I know a lot of people don't like watching it. I know I don't like playing against it, but turtle toss, like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Meanwhile, I know that Cham doesn't want to go to the late game. He wants to end it early. Is he the kind of player to go for those Roach Ravager Queen pushes, maybe Hydra timings, Muta switches? What I want to say about Cham is one of the reasons why we love him so much on this channel. One, we casted him on a weekly basis last year in 2020, and he's so diverse with his play. Like, the Cham style is just how much variety he has. Like, he doesn't necessarily do the same thing game after game after game. It's one of my favorite things about Cham. That's why it's always a treat to cast him. Always doing something else, something different. Not crazy like me or Micah, but you know, just something different. So we'll see, as it is a Stargate opening coming out from TriGGeR. What we would expect, to be honest. I would have been a little bit surprised if we would have seen a Twilight Council opening from TriGGeR. Totally possible on Lightshade, right? It's a pretty short rush distance, but the Stargate makes a little bit more sense. Ooh, clutch timing there with that Spore, as so far no drones have gone down. One drone has gone down. Nice pick off there by TriGGeR, but only one, and oh, just barely the Adept is able to escape. So get some value with that drone kill, and some scouting information confirms the timing on the third base, confirms the drone count, is aware that it isn't a big all-in or anything coming his way, and keeps it alive to meet up with the second Adept, and now he can go in and one-shot drones. It's disgusting. But he will just confirm the third base and back off. Just chilling, waiting for the moment to strike. Meanwhile, we did have an Overlord dive in for Cham. He confirms the opener. Void Ray is able to take it out, and yeah, now Cham can get ready for the Sky Toss. Or for the Stargate units, I should say. Yeah, it's no confirmed Sky Toss. Not yet. Not yet. As the Void Ray is going out across the map. Thankfully, Cham honestly doesn't have a lot of Void Rays out. A lot of them are closer to home, already in between the bases. So this Void Ray shouldn't find too much value. Maybe he can get this Overlord. Maybe. Is there enough energy for a transfuse? There is not, so the Overlord will go down. Oh, but the Void Ray is pushed away, taking a little bit of, oh my god, taking a little bit of hull damage. TriGGeR, please. A little bit distracted because at the same time he was diving in with his Overlord. 4 drones went down. Well worth losing some health on this Void Ray, especially because he didn't lose the Void Ray itself overall. And he keeps the Oracle alive. Beautifully done there by TriGGeR. Honestly, really nice start to this game for him. And there it is. I was talking about the turtle toss style earlier, and yeah, here we go with the +1 flyer attacks and the Stargate. Again, if you're familiar with the CranKy Ducklings, this is something that TriGGeR does a lot. As a result, Starduck does this a lot as well. They're both good friends, both around the same age. They kind of rose up together and have a lot of similar playstyles as a result. Meanwhile, ooh, this Void Ray, again taking a little bit of damage, but at least it doesn't get caught out by a bunch of anti-air. TriGGeR gets forced back, and now Cham is taking every single one of his gases. Interesting. With this gas, what is it going to be used for? He's getting his lair. He's getting a 5th base. I kind of want to see a Spire, to be honest. But with all these gases, he could even go for a Hydrogen if he wanted to. But there it is. There is that Spire. There are a couple of different ways you can go with this. If the Spire is kept hidden until it's completed, a Muta switch would be amazing. Even though there's some Void Rays are not the best anti-air for Mutas. And even though there's double Stargate, if the Spire goes unscattered, like, you can totally just make a mass amount of Mutas and go before Phoenixes come out. So it's still very doable for Cham. Of course, the more standard, or I guess the more quote-unquote solid thing to do is to just go into Corruptors. Get enough Corruptors to overwhelm these Void Rays, but I like the Mutas more. We'll see, we'll see. Obviously, there's a lot more versatility with the Mutas, right? Like, after clearing up the Void Rays, you can go for the Mineral Lions, you can keep TriGGeR at home, you can maybe deny a 4th base and take control of the map. As right now, it is well within TriGGeR's control. Like, TriGGeR, with these Void Rays, like, he can just do whatever he wants. Meanwhile, in comes some more tech. Infestation Pit is thrown down. We're going to be seeing a Hive eventually, but I'm really curious about the Spire, because quickly checking TriGGeR's vision, he has not seen it. He does not know. Ooh, and it is not going to be Mutas. Instead, it is going to be the Corruptors. Okay. Fair choice, fair choice. So, obviously, some of you may be thinking, but there are Void Rays. Void Rays counter Corruptors. They do. But if you get enough Corruptors, then you can definitely take down Void Rays, as long as you avoid the Prismatic Alignment, wait for the Prismatic Alignment to run out. More importantly, transfuse. Corruptors are beefy boys, and transfuses make them even beefier. So combined Queens and Corruptors, like, they're the dynamic duo. Ooh, one of the tumors does get taken out, but again, like, together they can achieve a lot. Hopefully there's more than that though, because we have a transition into charge lots to help support this army. And what are Queens and Corruptors going to do against charge lots? We need an army on the ground to support this. We need Banelings, and Cham is aware. He has Baneling speed on the way. It's not done yet, but it's on the way. So hopefully, ideally, he has a couple of Banelings to run into those Zealots and protect those Queens. I thought Starduck... Zergling close attack, please. It's a sore spot, okay? He does play... You're not wrong. He does play a lot of Kerrigan Survival too. We don't talk about that on this channel though, okay? For nada, Starduck. Alright, here we go. TriGGeR is pushing out on the map. The Banelings are not ready yet. A couple of them are being morphed in. Baneling speed is done, but oh my god, are they gonna pop out in time? In come the Void Rays, the charge, the disruptions are going off on the Banelings and the Roaches. Oh my god. And in the end, there is no answer to the Zealots. The Zealots are just going crazy, taking out Queen after Queen. The Corruptors finish, but mate, they do not shoot down. That is the downside of the Corruptors, and why Mutas could have fared a little bit better. But to be fair, there are Archons as well, as the Zealots and Archons go uncontested. They take out the base, they keep on pushing forward. The Corruptors have to find some damage. They go across the map. Sure, they can maybe try and right-click down a base. They can take down some of these Void Rays, but what about the main army? There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. You know, the Roach Warren, the tech, the production is all going down. No more Roaches are going to be produced. And Roaches aren't even really what you want against this. A couple of Roaches are trickling in, but the Disruptor, the Purification Nova goes off. And TriGGeR is looking on fire right now. The Corruptors, sure, they can maybe find a Nexus, but that is not going to be enough. Cham, oh my god, a little bit indecisive with what he wants to do. He does catch a couple of Archons for free. Nice pickup with these Roaches. I say a couple, he only got one of those Archons. And again, Cham lost his natural. He lost his Roach Warren. He's attempting to remake it, but no, he's making it to third base. GG, well played. TriGGeR takes the first game. Wow. Trying to get my prediction in, but Light may have rigged this turn. Whoa, yo, there's no hashtag rigging in this tournament bracket, okay? If there is, Funada Darking. Darking is the admin. How come For Sure's isn't casting with you? Yo, I don't think we can allow For Sure's behind a mic, okay? I don't think that's a good idea. But I did mention it at the start of today's tournament. Usually by now I am joined by Darking, but unfortunately Darking did get his second vaccine shot today, and he's feeling very under the weather. He is having some hold on. They started the match with the wrong players. There we go. Alright, they were about to start with Gustavo up against Cham. But here we go, we are diving into game number 2. But yeah, I was just saying that Darking, he's not feeling that great at the moment. Is kind of bearing the brunt of the force of some side effects, and he is unable to cast today, unfortunately. So wish him the best of luck. I'm sure he's going to recover, but for the next couple of days, yeah, he's not really feeling up to casting, so I am solo casting for this tournament. Later on today, I will be joined by Yakuzaku. We are going to be casting ESL Open Cup Asia together in a couple of hours, so I won't be alone forever, thankfully. And I've got Twitch chat. I've got Twitch chat to help keep me company. But here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of 2000 atmospheres, we have typically the champion of Battle of the Americas. He has won the most Battle of the Americas out of all players in existence, but he is down in this series, down 0-1 in this best of 3. We have the Mexican Zerg player representing Team GP. Can he bring it back? It is Cham. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2000 atmospheres, we have the Canadian Zerg player, the young boy himself, the young blood on the scene. It's his first year competing, and he's up 1-0 against the veteran himself. It is TriGGeR. I think that's something that a lot of people forget. Every now and then I have to bring it up. I have to remind people, you know, Starduck and TriGGeR, this is their first year taking things seriously. TriGGeR, in reality, he did kind of pop up at the end of last year, like towards November, December is when he started really performing well in online weekly tournaments. But when it comes to DreamHack, this is his first year competing. This is his first year taking it seriously. And he's young. He's the future of NA StarCraft. In a way, just like how Starduck is the future of Australian StarCraft. Starduck hasn't found as much success as TriGGeR, I would say. So there are differences between them, but there are also similarities. Yo, TriGGeR trying to be a little bit cheeky, but instead Cham does turn said tables on him, forces the probe back home. And Cham takes his third. Again, pretty standard openers so far. No additional gases have been taken, and no lair has been taken, or anything of the sort. So yeah, things looking pretty normal. But Cham totally has it in him to try and end the game early. Because I don't know if he wants to get, I don't know if he wants a repeat of game 1. Or a similar game to game 1, I should say. As once again, TriGGeR is going for the Stargate opener. Again, like, this is his bread and butter. going for the Stargate, going for the Void Ray into double Stargate, into +1 air attack. It's what he does. Obviously, in the previous game, he hit a timing with charge and +1 and Archons. He didn't like turtle up and go into carriers, for example. He totally could, and I feel like 2000 atmospheres is a pretty good map to do that on. But if he doesn't need to, he doesn't have to, right? So we'll see. We'll see where he goes after this initial Void Ray. Meanwhile, with this Adept, he's able to scout around, confirms the third base, confirms the drone count. Drones are being made, no additional gases. Everything is on the up and up on the side of Cham. And now with 2 Adepts, TriGGeR can try and maybe shade in and get a couple of worker kills. Oh, he goes for the larva. Oh my god. Larva gets turned into an egg, but another drone goes down. Oh, it's the value. It's disgusting. The value that these Adepts are getting. Meanwhile, Overlord goes down. I almost said Oracle. Overlord goes down as the Oracle is on the way. Again, exact same opener from TriGGeR. If you wanna play like TriGGeR, right, this is how you do it. Same opener every time at PVZ. Does wonders for you, mate. Third base is on the way. Void Ray is sticking around in case there's a bit of a Ling run by to deny the third base. And now we have to look at Cham and be like, what is your plan? Obviously, last game he tried to go into a Spire and it was unscouted, but the Corruptors just weren't very useful in the end. They did, yeah. Well, not good. So what are we gonna see instead? Another lair is being taken. An interesting thing is that we don't see a Roach Warren. Are we eventually gonna see a Roach Warren is what I'm curious about. Like, show me the building. Baneling Nest. Okay, bold move. So Cham is avoiding roaches altogether. To me, this looks like he wants to take more gases and go for a Spire again, but this is screaming mutas a lot more than last game. And yo, we wanted mutas last game. Maybe we'll get it this game. I'm not opposed to it. So we do have a bit of a Ling run by. He does catch one transferring probe. Meanwhile, this is what we've been waiting for. Lair is about to finish and show us that Spire. If it was me or Micah, I would say Hydra then. But it's gotta be a Spire, right? Right? Up. Cham's been spending a little bit of time with Mia. It is gonna be a Hydra then. Okay, let's go. It's one or the other, and I appreciate this. Meanwhile, ooh, the Void Rays show up. They activate their prismatic alignment. Oh my god, we're gonna see a cancel. It's not a cancel, it was a kill. Oh my god, Cham, please. Chamaco, Pablo, Chamco, what's going on? The kill on the base is disastrous. It isn't game ending, but it's close to it. Oh my god. Meanwhile, now that that's done, we have the Fleet Beacon, we have the Stargate. TriGGeR is going into those carriers. So I think this is a good thing for Cham. If TriGGeR was going Charge the Archon again, I think Cham would be in a lot of trouble. I think like Hydras can really struggle against that ground-based composition. But if there's not a lot on the ground, and if it's only Void Rays and carriers, Hydras, when the carrier count is at low enough numbers, Hydras can overwhelm. Hydras can end the game. As long as they hit before carriers hit critical mass. there's a bit of a caveat to that, you know, he's got to hit that timing. Meanwhile, TriGGeR is well aware that Pure Skytos needs help, so that help instead of charge lots is going to be disruptors, purification novas. It's going to be all about the splits and all about how the micro is going to be for both players. Meanwhile, Cham is getting ready for his push. He's dealing with the rock so we can just rally across the map. We do have Hydra range finishing up, +1 melee's on the way, Baneling speed is on the way. I feel like these upgrades are gonna hit a little bit late, but again, Cham is on a timer. He's gotta go soon. We have 2 carriers, we're about to have 5. Like, if we get to the point where 5 carriers are out, and they have all the interceptors, and they're at home defensively, like, I don't know if Cham can break that. But the plus side for Cham is that TriGGeR is moving out, and these units are looking very exposed. Ooh, Cham, can he catch a carrier? The carriers reveal themselves! No! TriGGeR, please, get away! Oh, he's trying to escape the clutches of the Hydras. In come the Disruptors as the Purification Novas are going to go off. 2 Hydras go down. And it looks like another, oh my god, 5 Hydras go down as well. Jesus Christ. All it takes is 1 good Purification Nova. And unfortunately, there weren't enough Lings on the ground. The Disruptors were being focused down by Cham, but he just barely didn't have enough to end it. And now TriGGeR, he knows what the army composition is. He knows about the Hydras, he already got a lot of value, and he knows that he needs to stay at home. And he doesn't want to get caught out on the map like he almost did. Ooh, there's not a lot of stack defense here. Now is still a good opportunity for Cham. Ooh, Disruptor Shot goes off, all the Lings get cleaned up, more Hydras get picked off on the retreat. Oh god. Things are not looking good here, and I feel like Cham realizes that. Like, initially, he wanted to hit a timing, and now that is not going to happen. He has to transition. Hive is on the way. What does that mean? Vipers, boy. Vipers are going to be coming out for Cham, and they're going to change everything with their abducts. And now it's on TriGGeR to transition, you know? I say transition. Some High Templar would be amazing right now. You know, Disruptors, they have their purpose, but getting some High Templar for their Storm, not just Storm, but feedbacks against the Vipers is going to be key. If he doesn't go for that, then Cham is going to have so much more freedom to micro his Vipers, to keep them alive, and to get those abducts off. Oh, meanwhile, TriGGeR is moving out, is clearing out a bunch of creep here, pushing deep into it. Twilight Council's on the way, of course, Twilight Council, and then Templar Archives, like, Templar are a long ways away. Ling Bane is crushing in. Oh my god, the Disruptors somehow survive. What? Finally, they get cleaned up, and now it's just pure Sky Toss, but the Disruptors, they did their job. And another shows up. What was that like? That was like 15 Banelings went off, and the Disruptors, they survived. It was crazy. Oh my god. And TriGGeR is not done yet. Again, a lot of the Hydras went down earlier. There's still another Purification Nova available. The Ling Bane is trying to get on top of it. The Nova goes off. The Disruptor again survives. Oh my god. It's crazy. Should rename it to an Immortal. Jesus. And in the end, Cham is able to push away the army of TriGGeR, but like TriGGeR got so much value there. Jesus, 85 Lings have gone down this game. 85! Meanwhile, Cham is turtling up. We've got a bunch of spores being thrown down. 4 Vipers are on the way. They need a little bit more time. They need to gather that energy, suck on some of them buildings. Spires on the way for Corruptors. Ultras, I think that may be a step too far. Like, I understand you want all your tech, but you do have limited gas available. Regardless, he has it there if he ever needs to transition into those Ultras. Meanwhile, massive Ling round by, I say massive, not anymore due to that stasis ward. The Banelings go off in the cannon as well. Cannon doesn't even go down. This run by will get cleaned up. But again, this is fine. Cham just needs time. He needs all the time in the world to get all these upgrades, get all this tech. But TriGGeR's maxed out, and he wants to push in, he wants to trade. Cham getting ready for a massive arc with his Hydras. The Vipers are going to be coming in as well. Disruptor Shot whiffs, does not connect. Ooh, the one towards the north does though, and I don't think there are enough Hydras. Even with the Abducts, even with the Parabombs, I don't think there's enough DPS. GG gets called, and TriGGeR just rolls over his opponent and takes the W. 2-0. 2-0. Oh my god. What a monster. GG. Well played. Congratulations, TriGGeR, for advancing on to the grand finals. Just wow. GG, well played. And oh no, we don't get to cast him. Feels bad, man. It looks like Eric did have to leave after his series, and he gave a walkover to Chorocarlo. So that means Eric and Cham, the rematch is not going to happen. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yeah, really strong showing there by TriGGeR. Again, I do think that Cham was maybe being a little bit too greedy, taking up in every direction. Towards the end there, I don't know if you noticed, but he had a second Spire, he had a Greater Spire on the way, he had Kindness Plating on the way for Ultras as well. Like, he was just spending so many of his resources in his tech, when arguably he should have been maybe a little bit more active, and that's the hard thing about this matchup. You want to be a little bit more active with your Hydras to trade out the Hydras and get Corruptors. Like, Hydras are only so good for so long, and then you need to get rid of them. You need to get rid of them and transition to a better form of anti-air to deal with those carriers. And if you're stuck on Hydras for too long, they're almost dead supply. As we saw there in the end, like, just Cham's army did not hold up to the maxed out army of TriGGeR, even though they both had 200 supplies. Oof. That was a rough series there for Cham, but Cham will have a chance at redemption as he gets knocked down to the lower bracket, where he can fight his way back up for a rematch.